Alright, hey guys, what's up? It's Carl here. Yes, I have glasses on, so I'm going to be wearing these for a few videos throughout the week so that my eyes can get adjusted to the prescription. No, I'm not blind as a dingbat, but of course you know that because I've made hundreds of videos before I even got these. This is a request of Blazy. He wanted me to do a list of the top 10 greatest tag teams of yesterday, of all time. So this is the list I've mentioned, not mentioned, but made of tag team wrestlers who used to be together, you know, in the past, yesteryear. No tag teams that are of today, but are of yesteryear. So, greatest tag teams of all time. Oh darn it. Starting at number 10. Yeah. Starting at number 10 is Harlem Heat. Harlem Heat is one of WCW's, I would consider, most decorated tag teams in that company's history. Harlem Heat were, you know, fan favorites. They were good, you know, bad guys. They were, I think, 9-time tag team champions, the most in that company's history, WCW. Harlem Heat, Booker T, and Stevie Ray. They were just, you know, they were entertaining cats. They had good matches. So Harlem Heat is number 10 on my list. Number 9 on my list is the Steiner Brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner. These guys also, like Harlem Heat, you know, real legitimate brothers. As a tag team, these guys were rough in the ring quite a bit. They know how to rough people up. Scott especially. They were like pit bulls, man. The Steiner Brothers, Rick and Scott. They, again, countless tag team championships from WCW. Some other independent promotions as well before they came into WCW. They've won championship gold together as tag teams. So the Steiner Brothers are at number 8. I mean 9. Steiner Brothers are number 9. Number 8 is Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. These guys knew how to entertain. I absolutely loved them. With Billy Gunn, you know, Kiss My A, kind of like thing, and wearing the shorts with the lip prints. You know, some people that kiss his butt. And then you had Road Dogg, who, you know, oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. You know, then just do the shake, rattle, and roll. I mean, just awesome stuff. One of the greatest tag teams of all time. My personal favorites, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. They had phenomenal matches. They were charismatic. They were entertaining. I wish just that WWE would make a tag team entertaining like that again. You know, just guys that had the charisma, but can also not only entertain but also give good matches together as a tag team. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were just, man, they were awesome. Especially with DX, and DX was like really hot. Man, memories. So Road Dogg and Billy Gunn are at number 8. Number 7 is the Hardys. The Hardys they were just different, you know, but back in the day, well, late 90s, early 2000s, they were just different. They had that emo rocker, like, you know, punk gimmick thing. They were Team Extreme. They were cool. They were just different than the other tag teams out during that late 90s, early 2000 period. You know, we know, hands down, Jeff is the better and bigger solo star compared to Matt. But when you put them together, Matt Hardy is just as good as a tag wrestler as Jeff is. When you put both of the brothers together, that phenomenal chemistry. They did crazy high spots and everything. They really were Team Extreme. And them, along with 2 other tag teams that are on this list, really revolutionized the wrestling tag team division in WWE, and maybe even all of professional wrestling. So the Hardys at number 7. Number 6 is Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, the Rockers. everybody loved the Rockers. People from my generation, people from the 80s and so on and so forth, everyone loved the Rockers. No doubt about that. Even though Shawn became a bigger solo star, main event star, before that, the Rockers were it. And especially to me, in my opinion, the Rockers are the first small size tag team wrestlers that really had that high flying, quick agility style. The time and era of wrestling where Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels had came in together as a tag team, the tag team division, a lot like the main event division during that time in wrestling, the guys were big, they were huge on the heavy side, kind of big and bulky, or a bit on the fat and heavy side. So Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels were really like little boys in a big man's world. They were really the only, if not lightest, tag team wrestlers in the division at that time. And I don't think a lot of people didn't have faith in them during those times. A lot of people just considered them to be jobbers until they began to realize, these guys are pretty youthful. Because a lot of tag teams back then, they were like guys in their like late 30s and 40s pretty much back in those days. So Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels were a new, fresh face in the tag team division once they came onto the scene, because they were young, athletic, energetic. So, I think they paved the way for other, lightweight, fast agility tag team wrestlers and style that we see today in professional wrestling. So, the Rockers are number 6 on my list. Number 5 is Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian, like Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, these guys know how to entertain the heck out of the crowd. Even though they were the bad guys, you still loved to cheer them because it was just that entertaining. With the whole 5-second pose thing, the different comedy sketches that they would pull and pranks they'd pull on various superstars, on Kurt Angle especially. Just hilarious stuff. And they were a good tag team together. They had good matches, phenomenal ladder matches with the Hardys. No doubt about that. Their rivalry and feud with the Hardys were like one of the best feuds for tag teams I've ever seen, and one of my favorites. I also just find it funny of how when Edge and Christian was formed as a tag team, they made them. They said that they were brothers, and then once they split them up, they still kind of went with it a little bit, saying that Christian was Edge's brother, but then all of a sudden they just kind of just dropped it. And now when you see Edge and Christian together in modern WWE, they say, "Oh, you and I have been best friends for over 20 years." And I just find it funny when you have like Undertaker and Kane. They've kept that brotherly, storyline thing going on for years. They didn't keep it. I guess they didn't want to keep it going for Christian and Edge. I don't know, but Edge and Christian, number 5. Number 4 is the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They come from Chicago, and Chicago's a hot wrestling city. These guys had character. Every time their song would hit, oh, what a rush! That was just awesome. Just the music didn't even hit yet. Just to hear the Road Warriors say, I think it was Hawk used to say, "Oh, what a rush!" Just to hear that before the song starts to play, people get in the arenas just pop. These guys were charismatic. They had phenomenal, great matches as well together as a tag team. They've won countless gold in every promotion they've been in: AWA, WCCW, WCW, WWF, which is now WWE, WWW, 3 Ws, F. They've won countless gold everywhere they've been. So the Road Warriors, number 4, definitely one of the most decorated tag teams of all time. Number 3 is one of the greatest tag teams of all time to me, is the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart and Jamie Nightfield Hart. These guys were also really good. Even though the whole purpose of that tag team of putting Bret with Jamie Nightfield was to catapult Bret into a successful solo career eventually, they still worked together as a well-oiled machine. You had Bret, who was the smallest of the two, with the phenomenal technical in-ring skill, and then you had Jamie Nightfield Hart, who was the big, bronze, like, powerhouse. So, that the combination of power and speed really made them a formidable tag team. So, the Hart Foundation are number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list is one of the greatest tag teams of all time. A lot of people may consider them overrated, overused, a bit annoying because they get so much TV time, but I don't care. They're one of my favorite of all times. And that is the Dudley Boyz, a.k.a. Team 3D, the Dudleys, Bubba Ray Devon, whatever you want to call them. The Dudley Boyz, to me, I considered a modern-day road warriors because, like them, they've won tag team gold in every promotion they've been in, from WCW, WWE, TNA. They've even won the IWG Pro Tag Team Championships once or twice in Japan. So from Japan, TNA, ECW, WWE, they won countless tag team gold. 23 or 24 tag team champions. That surpasses even the Road Warriors records of all the tag gold that they've collected throughout their illustrious career. The Dudleys are the tag team to beat as far as a record. Just like Ric Flair's record of 17-0 for world champion, that's a record that should never be broken, and that's a feat and a measurement for every other superstar who wants to be world champion. I think the Dudleys' record is 23 or 24 tag team champions. That is on the same level of a Ric Flair, but for the tag team division, and that sets the bar for any other tag team to follow after them. The Dudleys, phenomenal for guys to be big and heavy stuff like they were. They could wrestle with anybody, whether they're same size, whether it be small, like the Motor City Machine Guns. It didn't matter. They could work with anybody, regardless of size. They could go. They could wrestle. I love the 3D. Everybody got excited about the 3D. And, they made the table matches famous. That was their thing, the table matches. And people say, get the tables! And they do the 3D through the table. That's still one of my favorite tag team finishers of all time. The Ascension, their move kind of reminds me a little bit of the 3D, but with their own little modern twist to it. But the Dudleys definitely, not only could were they talented in those other aspects, but they could also talk too. They could talk on the mic. They could make you hate their pure guts as heels, or they could make you love them as, baby faces. Whether face or heels, you love the Dudleys. They always got a pop. They will always have a good, solid tag team match. And then when they had Bubba, when the Dudleys finally came to WWF or E, which is now known as, how Bubba would have the glasses and he just looked really crazy and he just buck his eyes like he's not sane. I used to love that gimmick. It was absolutely hilarious. So the Dudleys are number 2. Number 1, the greatest tag team of all time, is the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. These guys are, I believe, 9-time WCW tag team champions. They could talk. Not only do I put them on top of the list as number 1, they probably don't have a decorative career too much as a tag team division. I wouldn't say they revolutionized the tag team division per se, but they revolutionized wrestling as a whole. That's why I put them at the top of my list as number 1, as the Outsiders, because they've had a successful career together as a tag team, but what they did together was more than just for the tag team division. They changed the wrestling business, coming in as the Outsiders, forming the NWO together with Hogan, but that being the catalyst to start that whole NWO invasion thing. Just absolutely amazing. They made it fun. They were the first guys that made it fun and cool to be the bad guy and like the bad guy. And some people say even Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin made it cool too to be the bad guy. But way before Austin cut his infamous Austin 316 promo and he began to climb the ranks as the next breakout star in WWE, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were out first with the whole invasion angle in WCW and coming in as the Outsiders. That started first before Austin cut his Austin 316 promo. So yes, Austin did make it cool to be the bad guy. I'm not taking that away from him. but the Outsiders were first. They were the catalyst for that first, before Austin. So they were the first ones that made it cool and fun to like the bad guy and make you want to be the bad guy. And they weren't cheesy as bad guys. They were cool and laid back. Like, a couple guys you can sit back, watch the game with, have a couple, cold ones with, whatever. So the Outsiders are number one on my list. Let me know what you guys think about the greatest tag teams. What's your favorite greatest tag teams of all time? What do you think of my list? What's your list? Give me your thoughts in the comment box below. Subscribe. Peace.